and deploy some cash. So I'm going to show you today where I deployed the cash and why I deployed the cash. And I think if you want to make a move and you want to be deploying cash, I think that you maybe want to look at what I did yesterday, because I think there's a lot of alpha in what I did and why I did it. So that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about a few ecosystems where I deployed a lot of cash, including the SUI ecosystem where I also deployed cash. So let's get going. We had a crazy good show yesterday. I'm sure you'll agree with me yesterday. I didn't know, when we did the show yesterday, I'll be honest, I didn't know that we were going to hit it so spot on yesterday. Yesterday when we did the show, I said to you guys, like, my biggest narrative that I would be buying if I was doing a buy list was I would be looking at the Trump coins and the coins that are going to be good for Trump. And then I said to you guys, look, like, what you want to be doing if you want to be playing in the Trump coins is you want to be doing RWAs, you want to be looking at things like Aave. And I mean, it was uncanny that yesterday, almost like an hour or so after we did the show, or sorry, it was much later than an hour or so, but then Trump went and landed up buying ETH, Link, and Aave, or Trump's World Liberty coins landed up buying ETH, Link, and Aave. I mean, literally, those were the ones on our list yesterday. ETH, I said you need to get exposure to the ETH ecosystem. Link, Aave, and then I didn't realize yesterday, to be honest, when we did the show that I mean, I've always been a big believer in AI fund, the AI agent, the smaller AI agent. What I didn't realize is that it was going to go up 50% just after we did the show yesterday. So I think if you did watch yesterday's show and you did take some of the trades from yesterday's shows, big kudos to you guys. I know a lot of people are making a hell of a lot of money. Anyway, today is a new day and we have more pressure to meet the same hit ratio. We have huge expectations upon us. You also have huge expectations upon you. All you need to do is to obliterate the like button. So remember now, there's a little competition going on at Banter, right? So it's like Team Run versus Team Sheldon. But you know, Sheldon and I usually compete on many things. But now what we're competing on is we are competing on who can get the most likes per video. So let's quickly just go and see how Sheldon did today. So Sheldon did, he's in Dubai at the moment. So he's got 9,300 likes already. He's like 3 hours after the show. So I'm counting on you guys to obliterate this 9,300 likes. We have to get more likes than Sheldon has on his show. Also, if you're not already subscribed to the channel, just subscribe. What are you waiting for? Like, there's almost 1.13 million subscribers on the channel. I also want to warn you that tomorrow we have a big show. But there will also be a big hangover, right? Because tomorrow, or tonight is the Banter Christmas party. So I can promise you that I'll be here, but I can't promise you the condition in which I shall arrive at tomorrow's show. So no guarantees about tomorrow's show. Tomorrow we have 𝗦𝗏𝗏𝗏. We have 𝗦𝗏𝗏𝗏 here. I see people still calling me Ron in the chat. That 𝗦𝗏𝗏𝗏, he's destroyed me. He's absolutely destroyed me. All right, let's go. Let's talk about what's going on. Also remember, at the end of the show, Christmas hat goes on. The boxes are going to arrive here. When the boxes arrive, if you're signed up to Bybit, BitGet, 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, and you signed up in the last couple of days, you may actually win what's in the box. I wonder what's in the box today. Take a guess at what's in the box today. Let's see what it is. Someone says shit face tomorrow. It's going to be crazy tomorrow. I'm going to stop at the gummy store today on the way home to get the whole team some gummies. The whole team's going to have some gummies. All right, let's go. Let's talk. We're 3 minutes into the show and there's been zero alpha. We need to get the alpha, the alpha on the road. We had a little altcoin explosion, so to speak, yesterday after the show. And that's because Bitcoin had the highest daily close ever. And the interesting thing about yesterday's highest daily close on Bitcoin is that not only was it the highest daily close, but it was the highest daily close on the lowest leverage rate. So effectively, what you looked at yesterday was you looked at almost like a very high, a very charged up rocket, so to speak. Why? Because you had a very high daily close, but you had full gas in the tanks. When I say you had full gas in the tanks, you want to think about leverage or the lack of leverage as gas in the tanks that can actually send tokens up. If the leverage is high and the leverage rates are high, that means that there's not much more that you can push the prices up, because when leverage is high, it's like a balloon and the airs come out of a balloon. when the rates are low, it's like the balloon's full of air. It means that there's a long way that we can go up before there's fatigue in the market, before there's resistance in the market. And so what happened yesterday, the interesting thing that happened yesterday was that we got the highest daily close with the lowest funding rates. And when you have such low funding rates, it really means that you can be going up. Also, I mean, just a couple of things which I saw, which just keep fueling this fire. One of them, one of them was that BlackRock actually, let me see if I can actually get you that thing. BlackRock actually, hold on a second. Here we go. So it's because I don't have a subscription to Forbes because I can't afford one. So BlackRock actually recommended, kind of like officially now, recommending a 2% asset allocation to Bitcoin for their clients. Then so that's the first thing that happened. The second thing that happened, which I think is amazing, it says, just read this tweet and just understand the momentum that we currently have. So Bitcoin is attracting $80 billion every month. Nearly half of the capital that has entered the Bitcoin market over the past 15 years was added this year. So just imagine that it took us X amount of time. It took us from 2010 to 2024, 15 years, right? So it took us 14 years to get to 1 point, and then to double took us 1 year. And that is, by definition, what you call exponential growth. That is, you want to talk about like real exponential growth of an industry. And I sometimes think that because we live in this industry and because this has become the norm for us, we kind of forget how exponential the growth is that we are actually experiencing. And again, I think something that really put it into perspective for me today was 80 billion every month, of which 50% of the total capital allocated to Bitcoin ever was allocated in the last 1 year out of 15 years, right? So that is like something that I think we sometimes lose perspective of in terms of momentum. And so that kind of tells us that the best is yet to come. The best is yet to come because we're now really, really hitting the stage of momentum and exponential growth. I mean, this chart's also telling me that the best is yet to come. The Bitcoin dominance chart, look at that for a perfect retest. Wicked and then straight back down, confirming that it's alt season. I mean, you don't really need the confirmation. You just need to look at the 1 day moves in the altcoins. This is ladies and gentlemen, knock, knock. This is 1 day moves in the altcoins. And by the way, these moves have been a little bit subdued because of the PPI announcement. So we had the PPI announcement and the inflation went slightly higher. It went from 2.4 to 2.6, which was a little bit above expectation. So that means that yesterday we had the CPI announcement, which was inflation was like cool, no real alarm bells when it comes to inflation. Josh, just check the like button. Just like and just tell me if it's working because it's only 1,000 likes. Sheldon got like 9,000 likes, bro. Yours is working. Okay, no, just yours working. Just Charlie Sung, is yours working, bro? Alex Wells, is yours working, sir? Tevin, is yours working, sir? Do you understand how much alpha you guys are about to get? Do you understand? Someone says, ask Josh why he's 30% in cash. Josh, they want to know why you're $320 in cash.
Ask me in 2 weeks again.
He said ask him again in 2 weeks. All right, I'm going to give you one stinky, dirty meme coin later, which is going to make you guys all a lot of money, but only when we get 3,000 likes. That's the deal. All right, so as I said, the inflation numbers came out. The PPI inflation numbers came out today, slightly hotter than expected, which kind of like gave us subdued the market slightly, but it's nothing in the big scheme of things. In the big scheme of things, right now, trend is up. We're back above the trend line. We're back above the trend line. And yeah, so that's pretty much what's going on. Also, I just did a little bit of a litmus test when I looked at the altcoins. How are the ETH inflows doing? I mean, just have a look at this. Basically, every day that you can see back on this chart is positive ETH ETF inflows, which basically means, someone says, hold on, something happened with Trump here. Hold on. Something happened with Trump here. Whoa, hold on. So this just came out today. Trump will be doing something great with crypto, BBG. We did speak about that yesterday. Researchers, keep that coming. Keep. We love doing shows where the research actually comes at you during the show. As I was saying yesterday, I mean, we had a very good show yesterday to talk about Trump and talk about all the things that Trump's going to do, and to have it play out in front of our eyes less than 24 hours later was, I mean, to be honest, it was luck, but it was almost like planned luck, because we knew it was going to happen at some point. We just didn't know it was going to happen that soon. I'm going to try to repeat the same performance again. So as I said to you at the beginning of the show, I did say yesterday that Trump would be good for Coinbase-based DeFi, real-world assets. You should be looking at ETH. You should be looking at gaming. I said you need base exposure, ETH exposure, RWA exposure. I detailed the coins for you over here. And then Link, 𝗢𝗢𝗙, and Aave exploded. So straight after the show yesterday, I did a couple of things. I want to show you what I did in the interest of full transparency. You will remember that yesterday when we left the show, I was 20% in cash. Today, I am 15% in cash, which means that I deployed about, it's not exactly 5%, but I deployed about 5% of my capital in the last 24 hours. I'm not going to deploy anymore because I do want money for a dip. But I did deploy into a couple of places because a couple of things came up, right? And I want to show you what came up. So the first thing that came up was I closed all the shorts. The first thing that I did, I closed all my shorts because I'm not an idiot, right? When the market tells me that there's a break of trend, even though I think that there will be a correction at some point, when the trend is going up and the momentum is going up, you don't want to be called short. You don't want to be caught short. So what did I do? Well, I closed the XRP short, about 15 grand in a loss, but I closed the RSR one about 150 grand in profit. I closed the 𝗕𝗢𝗫 one about 50 grand in profit. I had an Orca short, which was about 150 grand in profit. So net, I made myself about $300,000 on the shorts. And then I flipped completely long again. And I took some long positions, which I'll share them with you, and I'll share why with you. First thing is I took a monster long position in Athena. So as you can see, there's $1 million position here in Athena. There are a lot of reasons for it. Look, I didn't really know that they were going to announce something today, which they did announce. I mean, I did know, but I didn't know, but I didn't know. I mean, someone told me, but I didn't know. I do think and I do know that there's another big announcement coming up on Athena. And so I'm pretty long on Athena. I also flipped long on PopCat. I'm slightly down on my long, but I know that PopCat's quite a reflexive meme. And so if the market continues to go up, then PopCat will continue to go up. And I bought 𝗧. 𝗧 is the gaming project. It's the gaming project on top of Arbitrum. I landed up buying that just because I'm expecting a gaming coin run. And what I'm starting to do now is I'm starting to buy the gaming coins now. Now, next week, I will do a full gaming show with Hustle so that we can actually build real gaming portfolios. For now, I've bought Beam, I bought Ronin, I've obviously got Super, and I've got 𝗧. And I'm holding them. And I don't mind going slightly down because I just think that gaming hasn't had a big run this week. So that's pretty much what I did yesterday. The other thing that I did was I landed up buying ETH options. So when the ETH price went down, I kind of looked at it and I said, hold on, let me just buy some March ETH options on Deribit. So I bought 100, as you can see, I bought 100 options, March options. They strike at $4,000, which is kind of like where we are now. I paid $660, which means that if ETH goes over 4,660 by March, I'm very, very, very much in the money, right? Otherwise, I'm going to be out of the money. So for now, I'm taking a bet that when Trump comes in, ETH's going to have a bit of a pump, and I landed up buying another 100 ETH options. So the reason why I'm doing that, just to give you guys full transparency of my trade, so you guys know exactly what I'm doing each and every day. The other trade which I made, which I think we need to talk about today, is this trade over here. So I'm not going to show you the exact amount because I don't think you need to know how much money I'm putting into things. But I told my traders to go and buy another batch of SUI, and we landed up buying another big batch of SUI. And a lot of people want to know, why is it that I'm buying SUI, right? Why did I buy SUI? Now you can see that this was actually done just after the show yesterday. The show, it's now 4:45 here. And that happened at 17:41 yesterday. And the reason why a lot of people are asking, well, why did you deploy money into SUI? You can see that it was a good decision. SUI is one of the tokens that actually moved up the most. Yesterday was a fantastic day for us. You can see that it was a good decision, but I want to show you what my thinking is, because it's very important that you understand my thinking and understand why I'm choosing SUI, or why I actually went and took a position in SUI. So yesterday we spoke about the fact that alt season was here, and that alt season was a super that during alt season, you start getting, in fact, let me just get a total 3 chart so we can just quickly look at what the total 3 chart looks like. So we kind of alluded to the fact yesterday that we are going to be in the beginning of alt season. Like, this is the time where in 2017 and in 2021, we went into the big alt season push. Now, what I know about the big alt season push is that every year or every cycle, when we have the big alt season push, there's something that happens every single time. And I want to be able to capitalize on that narrative that happens every single time. And it actually turned out that that narrative played out yesterday. So what is it that happens every single time at the beginning of the alt season? I'll take you back to 2021 so that you can see it. And I'm going to show you a chart around 2021. It's this chart over here. This is the SOL ETH chart. It's the price of SOL versus the price of ETH. And if you look at this date right over here, it is the 28th of December, which is about 2 to 3 weeks from where we are today, which is where we said the real alt season started for the 2021 cycle. And I think, let's quickly just go and have a look at the BTC.D, so the Bitcoin dominance. So if you look at the Bitcoin dominance, and let's just go back to 2021, and you can see where the Bitcoin dominance actually broke down. It was the 28th of December. So you can see that the 28th of December is kind of like officially when the crazy alt season began for 2021. If you look at the pattern on the chart and you kind of look at like this pattern over here, and you kind of look at this breakdown over here, and if I were to zoom out for you, and if I were to draw a long-term trend line around here, you can kind of see that, and let me just get a little bit neater with my charts. But if you look at kind of like what's going on here, you can kind of say that every alt season, and you can see it here in 2017, every alt season, the Bitcoin dominance lands up having this big breakdown at some point in time. But interestingly enough, what happened at that point was the SOL ETH chart exploded. So what is the SOL ETH chart? The SOL ETH chart is the new and shiny layer 1 of this cycle broke out against the older layer 1 in the cycle. So in the previous cycle, you had SOL breaking out versus ETH, right? And at the time, you had ETH was the established layer 1, and SOL was the up-and-coming layer 1, which was a very young ecosystem at the time. Obviously, it showed a lot of promise. It was fantastic technology. And SOL broke out against ETH when the alt season actually began. And so that kind of gave me a trend. And the trend basically said that I think that what you're going to get is you're going to get a breakout bit of the new and shiny L1 in this cycle versus the slightly older L1 in the cycle, right? And so I then went back and thought, okay, what is the new shiny L1 in the cycle? And obviously, the new shiny L1 in this cycle is SUI. So let's just quickly see if we can get a SUI divided by SOL chart. Let's see if such thing exists. What do we have to do? SUI USD divided by SOL USD. SOL USD. And so what okay, let's just see if it works. So what I said is that I think for this cycle, SUI is actually going to break out against SOL. And to be honest, I think I'm not the only one who saw it. I think 𝗲𝗏 actually looked at this and he said, look, if you look at the long-term chart of SUI against SOL, you can see that there's been a perfect cup and handle break, and this is basically this has actually started going. And so to me, I kind of said, look, I am already very, very long SUI because, you know, we've been covering SUI since it was like a couple of cents. And we've been telling you to buy SUI since it was a couple of cents. And it's definitely one of the top 3, top 4, top 5 holdings in my long-term portfolio. But I also said, hold on, I want to increase the exposure that I have to SUI because I think that if we're going into alt season, people are going to move down the risk curve. They don't want to be in ETH. They don't want to be in Solana because Solana had the run quite early on in the cycle. And so they're going to look for the next layer 1. And the front runner when it comes to the next layer 1 is, of course, SUI. And so I decided to take a position in SUI. Hold on, the researchers are sending us stuff. Again, Trump, we're going to do something great with crypto. Crypto and AI will need electricity. Wow, Trump's really pushing our bags. Okay, so that is what I did. And then, of course, like you can go anecdotally back to the charts. I mean, I don't really go anecdotally back to the charts. I've been here for long enough to know what the energies are, but you can kind of see that from a charting point of view, SUI is really performing against Solana. Now, from a tech point of view, I mean, arguably, I would say that SUI is newer, shinier technology. I think has got much higher throughput than Solana, or it seems to have much higher throughput than Solana. It also seems to have a lot of other features that are better than Solana. But with that said, you can see here that says Solana up to 65,000 TPS, SUI has 120,000 TPS theoretically. With that said, to be honest, the reason I'm investing in SUI is not because I think it's a Solana killer. In fact, I don't like to use the word Solana killer because I don't think that SUI is going to kill Solana. Because when it comes to networks, and all of these blockchains are in fact networks, right? When it comes to networks, once a protocol has network effects, in other words, networks are governed by Metcalfe's law. Metcalfe's law says that with every user to the network grows exponentially. And once a protocol has network effects, you really can't stop the protocol unless it's through government intervention, or the technology breaks down and you can't repair it, or you have a 10 times better product. But I don't think that SUI is 10 times better than Solana. I think that SUI is incrementally better than Solana. And so I think what's going to happen is you're going to get a world where both SUI and Solana exist, and they're each going to find a different niche to actually service. And so I don't think that there's going to be that the one is going to kill the other. I think that kind of narrative is not really the narrative that I was doing. But SUI has been making all the right noises. And that's why I think that the SUI chart has actually exploded. And I want to kind of like show you what the right noises are that SUI has been making so that you kind of see what I've been seeing. First of all, you'll obviously remember when we covered, when we went to Singapore on September, and we covered the fact that there was now USDC on SUI. I think what you have to understand is that a blockchain is a function of the liquidity on the blockchain. So for a blockchain to be successful, you need a lot of users to be able to bring a lot of money onto the blockchain, because blockchains are effectively financial systems. And so when blockchains are competing to become dominant blockchains, what the race actually is how quickly and easily can we get money onto our platforms, and how easy is it to move real world fiat money around onto our platforms. And that's why, like, when you look at Base is a great advantage because Coinbase is basically integrated into Base, and they can onboard all the 100 million or whatever the number is Coinbase users onto Base, right? And so that's what blockchains are actually competing for. And so when you look at things like that, there's a couple of things that have actually happened on the SUI blockchain, which show me that a lot of liquidity is going to come into the blockchain. Remember, what you're looking for is let's be able to get money on. And when the money is on, let's give users things to do. So you kind of look at a blockchain and you say, like, let's break it up into two parts. One, can users get money on and off easily and quickly? Are there many routes to liquidity on the blockchain? Then two, once they're on the blockchain, is there actually a lot of things that users can do using those things, right? And so in the early stages of developing a protocol, what you want to see around a protocol is that they're building all the picks and shovels to make sure that money can be onboarded onto the blockchain and traded onto the blockchain very quickly. The next step is to build a whole lot of applications to let people use to have fun. So on Solana's point of view, first there was Phantom got built, then there was all the lending protocols and the staking protocols, and then they built Pump.fun, which was actually the protocol that got people to actually do a whole lot of things. Hold on, the researchers are bombarding us with things here. Okay, we'll get a video. We'll watch that in a second. So that is what I'm looking for, and I'm looking for a protocol that is going to start growing. And so when I look at that, SUI has actually made a lot of progress when it comes to onboarding money onto their blockchain. The first thing is, of course, the USDC integration. We covered that in September. That was one of them. They've had some other protocol developments. They launched Walrus. Walrus is like almost like Arweave, but on SUI. Not exactly Arweave, but it's a decentralized storage protocol, which was built. I think the big announcement for SUI was the fact that Phantom is coming onto the SUI ecosystem. And the reason why this is such a big announcement is because if you look at the adoption of crypto in this cycle, users have actually come from two places. The first thing is that they've come through places like the Coinbase app. And you'll remember that the Coinbase app really climbed up the rankings, so to speak. Remember, the Coinbase app really climbed up the rankings, right? But the other app that also climbed up the rankings was, of course, the Phantom app. And so what that means is that in this cycle, the users are coming to trade and play in memes, and the users are coming to buy, to come in and to invest. And so this Phantom wallet integration into SUI is actually quite a big thing, because now all these users that have a whole lot of Phantom wallets can just bridge money from their one account in their Phantom wallet to another account in their Phantom wallet, and they can now bring money onto SUI. So that's huge in terms of bringing in liquidity. And then there's a whole lot of institutional products. I'm not going to talk about all of them. Van Eck launched a SUI product. Grayscale, if I remember correctly, launched it. Franklin Templeton launched a SUI partnership. So from a noise point of view, SUI is doing the same thing. Actually, the founder of SUI, who's obviously watching our show, also just sent me this. You see, everyone's watching our show, guys. Everyone's watching our show. Oh, okay. He sent. So this is a parallel MPC network. What these guys are doing is they are allowing a network to bring more liquidity onto SUI, which is by allowing people to bridge BTC, ETH, and SOL onto SUI. Not to bridge, but to bring in the liquidity. So that is with this thing called what's called 𝗥𝗘𝗖𝗙𝗀𝗏, so the fastest MPC parallel. So again, these are all steps that they're taking to be able to bring liquidity onto the chain. So that is some of the stuff that's making me excited. And I guess the thing in those announcements which makes me the most excited is the Phantom integration onto SUI. But that's not all. There's another couple of announcements that have actually happened. The first announcement, which is the one that I think is the most bullish for me, is the launch of a protocol called 𝗕𝗢𝗥 or 𝗕𝗢𝗥. And what 𝗕𝗢𝗥 actually is, it is a unified liquidity layer, a very fast unified liquidity layer on SUI. And for those of you who don't know what that means, it practically means that it's almost like a decentralized hub where all the liquidity for the whole SUI network can live, and that any exchange provider that wants to trade into this liquidity can just create a front end and basically tap into this liquidity. Now, 𝗦𝗡𝗏, who's one of the founders of SUI, spoke about it. I'll quickly play you what he said.
The premise behind 𝗕𝗢𝗥 is that I fundamentally believe that SUI will be the best place to trade assets in a decentralized world, right? It's got the lowest latency in the world. It's got the most amount of throughput without hitting maximum limits like other blockchains have today. And it has enough bandwidth to do central limit order book. So now we have a central limit order book that powers most of DeFi and Web3 and for SUI as a whole. And we think that's going to be the backbone that game's also built on. But if you think about it, gaming is a massive commerce. It's a massive world of commerce, right? The amount people are spending in in-game assets is multiple billions.
So what 𝗕𝗢𝗥 is doing is it's basically centralizing the liquidity. And now remember that SUI is a very, very, very fast blockchain. So it's a very fast place to trade. And now they've got almost like it's not a centralized, it's central liquidity in a decentralized way through 𝗕𝗢𝗥. And so that is, for me, one of the most important developments that has actually happened on SUI. Someone said most people would think that 𝗕𝗢𝗥 is important because it will help improve liquidity on SUI, making it thicker and better. I want to give a different perspective. It says it's a true protocol that can generate millions of requests per minute, helping SUI to demonstrate that SUI is a network with infrastructure architecture to serve any Web2 product. So you've now got liquidity with fast transactions in 𝗕𝗢𝗥, and that's quite a big announcement. So that was the first big announcement. Now, what you'll know as well is that for me, blockchains are platforms to create and trade and send value, digital value. That's basically all these things are. Create, trade, and send digital value. That is why blockchains are actually created. Now, for that, what of course you need to have is if you want to capitalize on an infrastructure, I've always said that you've got to pick the layer one, then you've got to buy all the picks and shovels around trading value, sending value, and swapping value. And so when it comes to that, I always say that you need to invest in the layer one, in this case, you have an opportunity to invest in the decentralized liquidity layer, which is 𝗕𝗢𝗥𝗑𝗦 protocol. Then you can invest in the DEX, and of course, the biggest DEX on SUI is actually 𝗬𝗔. I mean, we've spoken about 𝗬𝗔 for a long time. I think our first entry on 𝗬𝗔 was at about 8 cents. I still keep buying 𝗬𝗔, and I'll explain to you in a second why I still keep buying 𝗬𝗔. But 𝗬𝗔 is the biggest DEX on SUI. And then I always say that you've got to have access to the derivatives exchange on the platform, right? So on Solana, the biggest derivatives platform is Drift. On SUI, the biggest derivative platform is a platform called Bluefin. This is the platform. You can see it looks and feels like, I'm not connected on this laptop, but you can see that it's a perps exchange. It's of course very fast because it lives on SUI. Let's just have a look at the total fees and revenue that's generated up until now. So you can see, let's see if we can get volume. Here we go. You can see it's pretty much growing in volume all the time. You can see it's pretty much growing in volume. It is a new protocol. Remember, these are brand new protocols. It hasn't been around as long as Drift has been around on Solana. And then I think the thesis is, if I look at what's happened on Base, if I look at what's happened on Solana, I have a blueprint for what I want to be investing in. And the blueprint for what I want to be investing in is I want to be investing in the following. I want to be investing in the layer 1. I want to be investing in the DEX. I want to be investing in the perpetuals DEX. So on Base, it is, I can't invest in Base, I invest in Coinbase. But then I go and I put in a whole lot of money into 𝗥𝗓𝗏. And the 𝗥𝗓𝗏, if you look at what 𝗥𝗓𝗏 has done for us, 𝗥𝗓𝗏 has been, I think, one of our best investments this year. So, I mean, we got in super early, and you can see that 𝗥𝗓𝗏 has been one of the best investments we've ever made. It's now going into all-time highs. And that kind of says to me, look, own the layer 1, and the same thing with Raydium. So if you look at Raydium, on Solana, so Raydium USD on Solana, same thing. The thesis is pretty simple. If you think the layer 1 is going to work, then what you want to do is you want to own the DEX, you want to own the derivatives DEX, you want to own the NFT platforms if NFTs are coming back, you want to own the meme coins, right? And then the other one that I've seen, the other investment thesis that I've seen very recently that has really paid dividends. And to be honest, I haven't been gung-ho about it in the past. And the reason why I haven't been gung-ho about it in the past is because regulation was so unfriendly to lending and borrowing that I was like, well, why should I spend money on lending and borrowing protocols when the regulation has been so unfavorable? But now the regulatory environment is changing, right? And so if you look at things like, for example, on Base or on Solana, Solend on Solana, or on Base, you can look at things like Morpho, and you can look at things like 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, you can kind of see that staking and lending and borrowing are actually big narratives on these platforms. And so to sum it down, what I'm saying to you is, if you want to invest in a protocol, then don't invest in everything. Just invest in the important picks and shovels. And so for me, like when I look at SUI, I obviously own a lot of SUI. I own a lot of 𝗬𝗔 because I've been investing in 𝗬𝗔 since the beginning. Then I'm going to look at 𝗕𝗢𝗥, because 𝗕𝗢𝗥 is the liquidity, the unified, let's call it unified, not centralized, unified liquidity layer on the platform. Then you got Bluefin, which is the perps DEX. Then you've got SUILend. Now SUILend is built by the same team that built Solend, right? So you got SUILend, which is the lending protocol. Then I have a couple of gems for you, which I think we should probably talk about here. Yesterday I gave you a call, and the call was AI Fund, which is the small AI agent on Base. The big rival is Virtuals, right? So you've got Virtuals on Base, which is the AI protocol. That's the big one. And the small one was AI Fund, which is the one that I gave you yesterday, and we made 50%. Today I'm bringing you another one, which is called SUI Agent. Now, what SUI Agent actually is, it's exactly that. It's got a $9.5 million market cap, as you can see over here. And what it does, it allows you to build your own AI agent on SUI. So it's pretty much, I'm not going to say exactly the same as AI Fund, but it's the same protocol. It is a protocol which allows you to create AI agents on SUI. Okay, so that's the SUI agent play. Then I have a couple of other ones. Again, these are now much smaller caps for those of you who are much more, what's the word I'm looking for? Much more degen in nature. So you want SUI agent. If you want an NFT play, I know NFTs are not for everyone, but Blue Move is the NFT play on SUI. I have been taking some NFT plays because I think NFTs are actually going to start coming back. But then you need a meme coin, right? And to be honest, there are two meme coins that I'm looking at. Both of them are so 𝗏𝗏 is the one meme coin. It's this meme coin over here. This is one that I'm looking at. And I want to show you another one, but it's a much lower cap meme coin. And I'm giving you it's a newer meme coin. It's one that it's like it's one of those small ones that can actually go up. So this is 𝗏𝗏. This is one that I would definitely look at. I want to show you one other one over here, which I didn't put on the list because it's very small. Let me quickly find it for you. Okay, and again, I'm not telling you that. I'm just telling you that if this is how you would be investing. So here it is. You can see it has moved quite a bit. It's called Tidy. It's still at about a $12.7 million market cap. So that's another meme coin that I'd be looking at. So again, how do I capture value? I buy the DEX, I buy the liquidity layer, I buy the perps DEX, and I buy the lending and borrowing. And if you're into AI, you buy the AI agents, and then you buy some meme coins. You buy one big meme coin and you buy one small meme coin. And that's pretty much the best investment thesis that you can have when you're dealing with a chain that you think is going to explode. And I think that, as I said, when the alt season starts, let's see if we can go back to our chart here. It was the Sol versus SUI chart. So sorry, it was a Sol ETH chart that I actually showed. Sorry, it was a Sol ETH. So it is, and it's a bit stamp one. As I showed you, I do think that at the beginning of the alt season, people move down the risk curve, specifically when it comes to investing in L1s. They see L1s as the safer bet, and so I see the internet here is exceptionally slow. But I think you there we go. I think you see what I meant there. So those are the ones that I'd actually be looking at. Now I want to quickly just go and look at just some of the potential upside in these protocols. So when I say potential upside, what I did was I went and looked at the FDV of the protocol. And the FDV, so the FDV of the protocol, let's just quickly see if we can unhide that. Unhide. So we took the FDV of the protocols, and then what we said is, okay, let's look at the FDV of the protocol versus the biggest DEX. So on ETH, the biggest DEX is 4% of the FDV of the chain, right? So it's 4% of the FDV of the chain. On Sol, the percentage that the biggest DEX is of the total market cap of the chain is 2.22%. So what we can say is that as the protocol gets bigger, the DEX starts, or the ecosystem project, the DEX starts to get more and more important. And so when I look at Cetus right now, Cetus is only 0.89% of the size of the total FDV of SUI. So relative to the size of SUI, Cetus is only 0.89%. What I know is that as SUI progresses, if Cetus remains the best DEX, then just to catch up to all these guys, it's going to take a 4x, and here it's going to take a 3x. And so one bet that I would take is to say, look, let's take that. Let's actually just do this just to make it a little bit easier. So let's unhide these rows, and let us quickly just cut that. And let's just cut that as well. Makes it a lot easier. And let's take these guys out because they're not the leading guys in the game. And now let's look at it slightly differently. So if I look at the FDV of Solana, SUI, and Sol, and I say let's take the FDV of the biggest DEX, which has $19 billion, it's 4%. So by implication, what you can say is if SUI continues to grow, and Cetus continues to be the best DEX, there's probably just let's just say that this divided by this, which is the catch-up trade to ETH, which is 448%, just on the catch-up, let alone the price. And if we want to play the catch-up game to Sol, then you can say, well, let's take Radium and put Radium divided. That's 251%. So that is the ratio. When it comes to perps, I don't really believe that Evo is the biggest perp DEX on ETH. And also, to be honest, I don't think you should be trading perps on ETH. You should be trading them on the side chains. So we'll skip that one. We'll look at Solana. And what we'll say is that right now, Blue has a 0.75 and this has a 0.96. So there's a slight upside here. When it comes to lending, Camino has a 1.5. Aave has a 1.29. And I mean, if you look at Scallop, I think we should probably look at... what is the one we looked at that we looked at? I think we should probably look at SUI Lend, right? And SUI Lend has an FDV of 243. So if we can just go 243, let's just it's Lend, it's SUI Lend. So it's send and 243 billion. Okay, and it's 0.52, which means that there's about a 3x for it to get to here and about a 3x for it to get to here. So what I'm trying to show you is that the upside of these side projects has a lot to do. And the reason why they're not as high as they should be is because they're not as high as they should be because the protocol is not yet developed and the users haven't come on. But the protocol will develop and the users will come on. So that is how I look at investing in SUI and why I'm investing in SUI. Obviously, I've been invested in SUI for a hell of a long time. I just added to my investment yesterday. I'm not going to show you the actual trade, but I mean, here are the receipts where this is the what I sent to the traders yesterday. I said just up our position. Again, what do I do when I invest in a protocol? I don't complicate shit. I don't have time to complicate stuff. Layer 1, DEX, liquidity if you want, perps DEX, lending and borrowing, one big meme coin. I think probably the big meme coin go for Lofi, and then one small meme coin. In this case, the small meme coin that you can go for. I went for 𝗕𝗢𝗙𝗢𝗙. I went for 𝗕𝗢𝗙𝗢𝗙. That's the one that I'm backing as a small meme coin. I've covered my bases with every possible thing, and I can carry on, and now I can just carry on and just basically hope that the thesis actually plays out. So simple as that. It really is simple as that in terms of investing. The pressure is on now. Apparently now I have to buy. I have to do the giveaway, the Christmas giveaway. So here's how the Christmas giveaway works. I get to put on a Christmas hat and look like an idiot just for a while. And if you sign up to Bybit, BitGet, or Blowfin, every day I get a list of user IDs. I'm quickly going to get my list of user IDs. UID list. Okay, now just to make this fair, because we want to be able to give a lot of prizes. We're going to give the winner 24 hours to claim their prize. If you don't claim your prize in 24 hours, by tomorrow's show, we give it to somebody else. Okay, that's fair. Okay, so sign up on Bybit, BitGet, Blowfin. Any sign up and deposit funds. You have to deposit funds because on Blowfin there's no KYC. So a lot of people just open like 1 million accounts. Don't do that. Put in $100 or whatever, $10, just so we know that you guys are there. Then I select the box. What are the boxes today, Mr. Hardest? The boxes are here.
Box number 2, sir.
Okay, so today you guys chose box number 2. Before we get into box number 2, should we choose the winner first? Let's choose the winner first. So the winner is Bybit account number, today is Bybit account number 386945361. If you are this account number, you have 24 hours to get us from this account number to win your prize. Now the big question is, what is your prize? The box is box number 2. In box number 1, we have AirPods, Apple AirPods Max. Are these AirPods? Are these AirPods, Josh? Yeah. Oh, okay, wow. So you would have won that, but you don't win that. Okay, cool. In box number 3, we have $1,000. But you don't win box number 3, dude or lady. You win box number 2. And in order for us to open box number 2, we need another 200 likes. Until then, we're just going to watch the bubbles. We need another 200 likes to open box number 2 and tell you what account number, wait, where is my list that I open here? Account number 386945361 has won. This account number, believe it or not, has won. Still another 100 likes. Still another 100 likes. Ladies and gentlemen, we still need another 100 likes. People say, play what Trump said. Play what Trump said. Okay, I'll play what Trump said while we're waiting for the last 100 likes.
So, very different from the previous administration. Strategic petroleum reserve like for crypto?
Yeah, I think so. We're going to do something great with crypto because we don't want China or anybody else, and not just China, but others are embracing it, and we want to be the head. We're going to be ahead of AI. We're going to be way ahead of AI, and we've got to produce tremendous amounts of electricity. You know that it's unbelievable when you think that we need more than twice what we already have. If you think that's pretty for a specific industry, but we'll be able to do it. We have Lee Zeldin in charge of the environment. He's going to be giving us...
All right, so Trump's been very bullish again. All right, so what does box number 2 win? So scared to open it. Because you know why I'm scared? Because there's been 2 small prizes. And I've noticed a pattern here. There's usually like 2 small prizes and 1 big prize. So I'm quite scared to open this box. So I'm going to close my eyes. And you tell me what's in the box. $20,000. Holy shit. $20,000. What the fuck? Okay, so wow. Okay, I knew it was gonna happen. I knew it was gonna happen. So if you are account number, now you're all looking at your account numbers, right? If your user ID 386945361, you just won yourself $20,000 for Christmas. And we're going to do the same thing tomorrow and the next day 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 and the next day. So all you need to do is sign up for Bybit, BitGet, 𝗏𝗏. If you're in the UK and you don't want to do KYC, BitGet. If you're in the US, you don't want to do KYC. 𝗏𝗏. I'll see you guys again tomorrow. Until then, trade well, my friends.